And we have to tell you that as far as the records are, apparently the first case of kidnapping that was recorded by the police was recorded way back in August 2018. And several months on, at least for the last 5 months and 18 days since 3 girls were abducted and kidnapped in Takoradi. We also know that a man believed to be the prime suspect has also been arrested. But the police say he's neither talking or helping them with investigations. The other accomplices that the police believe are at large already. We've been in the community speaking to the families of these girls, speaking also to friends, and also getting to know what really may have transpired prior to them getting abducted. In the first place, what is the actions of the Ghana Police Service, especially the whole investigative team, to unravel the whole mystery surrounding all this? Kojo Yankson has been there over the last 48 hours, giving us the latest update. But today, we just want to keep you up to speed with the story so far. We'll bring that to you. But we also want to get to know on the national level what actions could be taken to forestall some of these recurring incidents, if any at all. Well, that's why we're doing this, increasing the advocacy with the hashtag Bring Back Our Tardy Girls. And you can already see them on your screens. Priscilla Cranches, 15 years, was last seen on the 21st of December 2018. And the place of kidnap is believed to be around in Crawford, Takoradi. We have Priscilla Blessing Bintum, who is 21 years, was last seen on the 17th of August last year, 2018, at Kasarodo, Takoradi. And we also have Ruth Love Quason, who is 18 years, was last seen on the 4th of December, 2018, at BJ Junction. And sad incident there. We hope that our increased advocacy, with your help also, which has manifested on social media, with all of you also sharing the hashtag, with the postings, with the pictures, on not only JoyNews on TV, but Joy997 and the other social media platforms. We would also put more pressure on state authorities and those who are expected to do the needful to get the girls back to their families. Also on the show today, former President John Dramani Mahama and some others have also balloted, and so they know their places. John Dramani Mahama retained his 3rd spot on the ballot paper. Sylvester Mensah is 4th, I believe. And we also know Joshua Alabi is 7. Ekosbio Gabra, number 5. But what's next? What should we be looking at? What also should be done by the NDC? So we decided that we wanted to bring on stream Dr. Ali Duseidu is a senior political scientist at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana. So he will be joining us. It will be a great conversation, I promise you. And Dr. Kobe Mensah is a marketing consultant, is a lecturer, but also primarily focuses on political communication and political marketing at the University of Ghana Business School. So we'll be having somebody also from the NDC, preferably, to also come help us do more of the discussion. So please make sure you join us as well. But it's a Thursday, so we have to talk technology and all the things you need to know, especially coming from the geeks and all that you need to know as far as technology is related. And so, well, today we also know that modern earpieces come with well-streamlined heads that make listening to music more enjoyable. I'm sure you've also enjoyed it as well. And it's common to learn and also other times borrow an earpiece from friends and colleagues. But did you know that sharing your earpiece actually transfers someone else's bacteria into your ears? Well, this bacteria, doctors say, can cause serious ear infections. You know, we in the studio also tend to have some of these also transferred from one ear to the other. But it has to be disinfected. If it's not disinfected, then it causes some difficulties as well. So we'll all get some great education on some of these related issues. But again, our main focus, not only today, but has been the last couple of days, is about the abductions or the kidnappings that have been recorded in and around Takoradi. We know that it's been 5 months and 18 days since 3 girls were abducted and kidnapped. And we are already doing great advocacy with that hashtag, Bring Back Our Tardy Girls. And I'll just bring to you the slide on the screen. And you get to know again, as I run through the names of these young ladies who have since been abducted, and the police are searching for them. And now we have to tell you the latest story so far. We are doing a recap from beginning up to now. And Kojo Yankson is joining us live with that.
The Western Regional Police Command is handling perhaps the highest profile criminal investigation in its history. The three cases, which together have come to be known as the Takoradi kidnappings. So let me tell you the story so far. The first to be taken was Priscilla Bintum, a 21-year-old student described by her family as calm, quiet, and a devout Christian. It was over 24 hours after her disappearance that her father reported it to the police. This is because for the longest time, the family thought Priscilla was at choir practice. 4 months later, on the 4th of December, the second victim was taken, Ruth Quayson. Ruth is 18 years old. She took a cab ride from her home in Diabene to the BU junction and was never seen again. The third victim was Priscilla Mantibia Crunchy. Priscilla left home while her father was away, telling her younger siblings that she was taking a walk to Nkrofo nearby. She never came back from that walk. Now, the police have had a suspect in their custody since December. Now, I say in their custody, of course, that is minus the short period of time when he escaped from police custody and was captured again just a few meters away from his house. His name is Samuel Udoterg Wilson, a Nigerian national. Now, apart from a couple of wild goose chases that he has led the police on, Mr. Wilson has given them literally no actionable intel. He refuses to cooperate with the police.
Why we want the kidnapper? We want our sister back. That's all. Because they can't tell us that the kidnapper was jailed in police custody and he was able to escape. Why? Why? So we want answers. They have to explain to us why the kidnapper was able to escape from that cell.
But we are told he has been arrested.
That one we don't know. So where are our girls? He has been arrested. Where are our girls? We can't find them. We want our girls. That is what that's we want. Why we are whether he has been arrested or whatever. When they arrested him first, he confirmed that he didn't have it. So why is it that they didn't force him to go and bring the girls? They didn't do anything. He escaped and they've arrested him. What give us the assurance that we will get our girls? That is what we want. Only our girls. He has been arrested or whatever. We don't say we want our girls. That is what we want.
It's not just sitting at their office giving us assurance. They should come to the community. They should educate us. They should team up with NCC. Tell us the mode of operation. The people, how do they operate? How are they kidnapping the guests?
A search conducted around the building where he was recaptured. They found the dress, the headgear of the headgear, the rubber slippers the third victim wore when she was kidnapped. This clue gave the police a strong belief that the accused is connected to the crime. In addition, he was sent to court on the charges of escaping from lawful custody, causing unlawful damage to the police cells, and resisting arrest. He pleaded not guilty to all the counts, and the trial is ongoing. In all instances where the accused kidnapped the three victims, it was observed that he has struck an acquaintance with the victims for some time, because the call history shows that he was in constant communication with some of them, all of them before the kidnapping would take place. He promised the accused contacted the victim several times through mobile phone communications. He promised the first and the second victim with jobs, while he promised the third victim with a mobile phone. Police has discovered some gadgets from the accused for investigation purposes and has been forwarded to CID quarters for analysis. The accused person earlier made mention of 4 persons alleged to have been involved in the kidnapping. The police have made strenuous efforts to arrest these suspects from their hideout, but it proved futile. We realized that we send you to a house and said the people are here. You go, nobody will be traced. Police have made so much efforts to arrest these suspects from the hideout footer. Police are still vigorously searching for the kidnapped girls. The general public is urged to come forward with credible information leading to the rescue of the victims. We are also appealing to the parents of the victims to stay calm as police is working around the clock to rescue the victims.
Now, the families of the abducted girls are really not happy with the police. From their perspective, the police have botched the investigation and at all times been economical with the truth.
As I'm speaking to you, it's been 17 days since they rearrested the guy, and up to now, they haven't been able to get any good information from the guy. Then that means they are not doing enough. I'm wondering if it was to be a great person in Ghana or a great person in Takoradi, like the MP's daughter, is that how they're going to treat the case? Because what they are doing, we just don't get it. We just don't understand it.
Tell me, when was the last time you spoke to the police, and what did they say?
The last time I spoke to them was last week, Monday, before the Wednesday that we went to the court sitting here. We went to the DCP regional office at Sekendi, but he wasn't around, so we spoke to one DOP, Mr. Ipa. Then he told us that they are still on it. The guy keeps giving them wrong information. They went to Kaswa, no one was there. They went to this place, no one was there. So they are still on it. That's what he's been telling us. They are still on it. No new development. Any day that we ask, no new development.
Now, for how many days was he, after he escaped, for how many days was he on the loose? Do you know?
No.
Okay. But your mother says that while he was on the loose, he actually contacted your family for more money. Yeah,
that was on the 31st of December. He called us telling us that we are very funny because those policemen that we are giving there, we've reported the case to, they cannot do anything to solve it. So if we want our sister back, we should just obey what he will say, then send the money to him, and we should forget about the police people because they can't help us. That's what the boy told us.
Kwesi be that, but where is Kwesi? Oh, I'm Mama kind there. Because in Yamina Yimunu, and Fapim, or a duckle, not duckle so, yan Fapim. Na yimpano you don't know. Near Hundo or well, but in Yamimede, or a duckle.
The police, however, insist that they are on top of the issue and are confident that they will get to the bottom of this bizarre mystery.
You have established some evidence to show that at least you cannot get this victims. Then before you can even have them gazetted and you publish.
Are you restricting your search to Ghana or to the sub-region? Or expanding it to the sub-region?
Because we cannot restrict ourselves only to Ghana. This is Nigeria who is involved, so we don't know what happened.
You say you cannot torture him to get information, understandably, because the law is against that. So I'm just wondering, have you reached out for help in the Western region? The Ghana Police Service is a big institution to try other means of getting this gentleman to speak, the psychologist, etc. What else have you tried?
We are still investigating it. So it's not good for me to put it saying all that we have done.
This is not just an ordinary case being investigated. Normally, if you look at the international arena, kidnapping cases are done by professionals, people who actually know what they are about. So when we are investigating cases of that nature, you must be articulate. Go step by step. You don't rush. If you rush, you sidestep a lot of things, and you go to court, they can throw your case away. So it is important to take time. You know, the affected family, they will be thinking police is not doing anything. But you realize that everything police is doing doesn't mean that we should go into public domain or even to them and tell them that this is what we are doing. It is never done anywhere. But in our social setting, the best thing we can do is that maybe once in a while we visit them, reassure them. That is what I have been doing. I invited them here at least twice, just to reassure them that we are on top of what we want to assist. So we are doing our best for the rescue of these children. There are two other victims. That was in December. from 2nd December into 4th December to 21st December. The first lady, the university student, that was our main focus initially. And we were trying to get information to build on this. You be going somewhere and then things will truncate. Then you have to slow down and try to put the pieces together to move forward. So when the 4th December issue happened, it has given us another this thing to at least step up whatever we are doing together to put the pieces together.
This was from the August case. It was a case of a missing person, a kidnapped person, according to what the family had said regarding the phone calls and so forth. So did the police not feel that it would be helpful for the public to help in the investigation by putting out maybe a photograph of the missing person?
Israel asked me the same question yesterday, and I want to say that I don't know, somebody was interviewing me. You know, when you have not gotten to a certain level of your investigations, you put out pictures there. We are looking at the social, the psychological aspect of that thing. The stigma that is going to, you know, she's an university student. So as we are handling her issue, you must be a little bit circumspect. So that,
what stigma exactly?
I mean, people will say, how come you, another 21 years university student, you allow yourself to be kidnapped?
That's the reason why?
No, that's not the only reason. And you go to she gets back to school, people are looking at you, they'll be pointing, no, it is psychological trauma. People will be pointing at you, that's the lady that got missing.
So is that the standard police procedure, that when there's a missing person, you don't put out a photo? A missing person and kidnap are two different issues. Okay, so when there's a kidnap?
It's kidnap, you don't put out immediately. You must get some facts before you do that. If it's a missing person, it is only a matter of declaring a missing person. Then you publish the pic. But this one is beyond just a missing person. So care must be taken in handling it.
So that's why there was no
picture. But, as I was saying, that missing person issue is different from when you come to kidnapping. Okay. In kidnapping, you don't know what has happened to the victim. Do you get me? You don't know whether they have gang rape her. You don't know whether she was subjected to a lot of sexual assault. You don't know whether she was subjected to inhuman treatment and all those things. So the immediately you put, it is important for you to get to some information before you begin to put her picture or their picture into the public domain. But if not, you are creating problem for psychological problems for them in the future. Okay. You realize that when we have rape cases, and you people are interviewing them, you don't put their faces, you make it blur before they talk. So this is part of the process. Yes. Okay, unless we have the facts, we pin with our hands on it.
Now, today in the press conference, you gave some advice to the public about those who might be communicating with people on social media to be careful, for parents to watch out for who their children are communicating with, and so forth. I want to ask, that's useful advice, but why did it not come earlier? You know, when you first had these cases on your hands and you discovered that this is how these girls were taken, why did you not put...
No, that was, in the December one, you know, what actually happened was that this is an adult. No, sometimes if it happens, we have VV cases beforehand, not here, in Accra. You realize that sometimes it's the lady themselves that will front for them for some money to be taken from their parents.
So they will collude with
yes, kidnapping.
Did you suspect that in this case?
No, initially we can't find our level, so at least you'll be putting the pieces together. Do you get me? And where a case within a short period, they were able to send 4,500 Ghana cedis. Then you'll be asking yourself, why are you sending so much money within a short span of time? But all the same, it gives us the leeway as to what should be done. So that is why, it's not that we have refused to put those pictures in the public domain. As we have explained, we don't want to build a cycle problem for them at the end of the day. A lot of evidence says that an accused person should not give incriminating evidence against himself. And in such instances, it will not be accepted in evidence against him. So if you want information from somebody, you torture him, you slap him, you beat him, and he goes to court and said, the evidence on record was obtained under duress. That ends it. You have diffused whatever you have done. You have thrown it. You have thrown it overboard. It will not be accepted. So, even in international, in UN, those of us who have got the opportunity even to be there, you go even to investigate issues of that nature, where somebody is complaining that he has not been treated fairly, even within racial discrimination or something. Sometimes you go and investigate. So after learning all these things, you know that human rights issues are paramount so far as criminal investigations are concerned. You don't go that way, but rather you must employ means by which he can give you information voluntarily. That is one of the reasons we've been asking that he should be in our custody. He should be in custody. Once in a while you go to him, you interact with him. Somewhere along the one he will open up. Now he has closed himself.
Are you not worried that time is going? Are you worried about the girls, whether they are still safe?
Yeah, we are worried about it, but what we can do is that you employ avenues for us to be able to. That is our concern. If we are not concerned about the safety, the security and safety of the victims, we will not have gone around looking for them.
So where does this leave us? The family members are very disappointed in the police. They think their cases would have been handled better if they were prominent members of society. So they're calling on the president to intervene or lose the tardy vote.
Say, I'm a husband can say, I don't know my pain, and ask me MP. But you sent a post for one.
It's a few days, or my opinion.
Why, because I don't need the other bench, we, Onya, Bosom. What's one may be fee, America. And Pocol Banner, once I be on them back one and the Calacutia. I had a be scared at call. Wainaba, obey the hotel, Bibia, Angela, Wain Bocoranda, Angela. Miss Ano, Impo couldn't work too wide the matter with them, and me again, and I'm gonna have. Ah, Meba, what's our gonna have? The bee, I mean, no could we obey more gonna have. Nessa, one cousin, one actually there, young gonna have no.
As for the police, we've said a lot to them. Now, my problem is the president of Ghana, that he should set his feet up, because this thing can even let him lose some votes in the Western region. Because as for me, I've decided that not to vote again, because in this, all the way with all the things started, by now I'm sure that they have learned what is going on in the Western, but it seems they are not showing any much concern about the situation. So we are asking if it was to be an MP's daughter, or even assemblyman, or even a police commander, or even, let's say, one of the big men, the pastors, like, is that how they're going to treat the case? Because we just don't understand. We just don't understand. It's been 17 days since you had this guy. We've not able to trace anything from the guy, whilst his phones are in their custody too. So and Nigerian coming to our country to do this. Imagine if we were Ghana that we went there, what would they do to us?
So you think that it's because you are not politicians or pastors or rich people? That's why your case is not being developed.
That's how we see. Because if it was to be an army officer's daughter, but I'm not sure by now, even the guy will just be looking fresh like that.
The police, on the other hand, are convinced that they've got this, even though they admit that their adversary is a hardened professional criminal with years of kidnapping experience.
Let me tell you that I'm telling you that this man is a professional. How do I manage to say that he's a professional? We have information, and that is what we are working on. As I'm talking to you now, we are even using Interpol to get us some information on him from Nigeria, because we got to know that that is his signature.
Meanwhile, the clock is ticking. And the Western Regional Police Commander's reputation is not the only thing on the line here. So are the lives of 3 innocent girls. So will the authorities be overwhelmed by the sophistication of this kidnapping cartel? Or will the police prevail and bring back our tardy girls? Only time will tell. And there's not a lot of it left.
For that one day, I can't tell, but I believe in the God I serve that she is definitely alive, and we will soon see her one day. So, for
Well, so that's Kojo Yankson there. Bring us to speed with the latest so far. Bring back our tardy girls. And this package also was put together editorially by Derek Ekolsam. I have to thank both of them for great work they've done so far on this piece. But more so, please make sure that you keep the advocacy ongoing. And the hashtag Bring Back Our Tardy Girls is live on not only our social media pages. I'm talking about ours. JoyNews on TV, Joy 997. We have other platforms, Adom Asempa, all on the multimedia platforms. And then also you can go to myjohnline.com as well as myjohnline TV on YouTube. Give us more of your comments. What do you think? We need to collaborate with the police. We need to also make sure that we become partners in unraveling all this mystery. We have to go back to Kojo Yankson. Kojo Yankson is joining us via Skype Live. Good morning to you, if you're on stream.
Good morning to you, Roland.
Yeah, and we also know that as far as the update is related, we know where we are currently, but it looks like the responsibility is more on the police.
Yes, you're absolutely right. This investigation is in the hands of the police. It's being steered by the Western Regional Police Command. And it is the reputation of the Western Regional Police Commander that is on the line now, because he has become the public face of this probe. And the families continue to be skeptical about the level of commitment that they are seeing from the police. They are looking to this commander for action to be taken. Now, he told me that he's going to personally visit the families of the victims, and that he wants to now put a public face on their investigation and take care of what he describes as the social aspect of police work. So he will make his first visit to them. I don't know when he has scheduled it for, but he intends to go around, visit all the families and reassure them that the police are doing a good job. But that detail of whether or not the police are indeed doing a good job is still to be independently verified. Roland, my contacts in the police have been telling me that there are more questions than answers around the arrest, the escape, and the rearrest of this suspect, Samuel Udoterg Wilson. Now, what I'm learning is that on the day he was first arrested, he was in the company of others. This is a Nigerian national in Ghana He doesn't have family members here. So when he was arrested, how come the people he was with were not brought in for questioning? This is something that my police source is raising. Also, when he was being kept in the cell, because he was refusing to cooperate, the police adopted a strategy that, well, it's strange. And some of my sources in the same police force are saying that they don't quite understand the rationale of this policy or this strategy. What they did was they isolated the suspect who was refusing to speak, and they allowed only one individual, one police officer, to communicate with him while he was in custody. Up until the day he escaped, there was only one police officer interacting with him, and he was alone in the cell. And it's not clear why the police thought that would let the individual speak. But the most curious aspect is that when he was rearrested in that uncompleted building, somebody who has been arrested, identified as a Nigerian national, and you are looking for his accomplices who would have helped him to kidnap these girls, when he was rearrested, once again, he was not alone. So my question for the police is, why was he the only person arrested? And now we are looking for his accomplices.
Yesterday, we had some brief interaction with the, is it the MC for the area, who happens also to be the chair of the security committee of the area. That also speaks volumes about the essence of the interaction they need to have with the families, etc. He said they had great collaboration with the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies who are on the committee. Do you know whether the MCE has been able to visit the victims, the families of the victims in the first place? And then
they forgive me, they all tell me that nobody has been to their home. No police officer, no member of government, whether local or national, nobody has been to their home. And that is even what led them to that demonstration that you saw images of, because they were frustrated. They felt that nobody cared about their wards except for them. And they are not clothed with the authority or the resources to do the investigation themselves. What they were able to do was to attempt to pay the ransom. That clearly did not work. So at this point, they are genuinely concerned that there may not be enough effort being put into the retrieval, the rescue and retrieval of their family members. So to answer your question, no, these families have not had a visit from local government, from anybody representing government, and even more worryingly, no visit from the police service itself. Now, the reason why this is problematic is that these girls disappeared from their homes. You would have thought that that would be part of the scope of the police investigation. That is the location from which they disappeared. So would there not be any clues there? Might there not be anything in their bedrooms or their sleeping spaces, some evidence, clue of some interaction, communication, plan to travel, or to meet with somebody? Would that all not factor into the police investigation? So how come that in the case of Priscilla Bintum, for example, since August 17, 2018 to date, no police officer has set foot in her house?
Now, do you think, based on the interaction we've had with the police so far, they are almost close to getting the victims back to their families?
Well, the police say they are confident that they will indeed retrieve these girls. The commander of the police is very confident. He said so in the press conference. He said so when I had the exclusive interview with him. And he wants to transmit that confidence to the families. He wants the families to feel as confident as he is. The problem is that the families are not seeing enough to make them share his confidence. He is hoping that when he interacts with them personally, he might be able to address that.
Now, we're told that the main or prime suspect is a Nigerian, but it also presupposes that based on other observations and commentary, there seem to be a lot of his friends who are same national in and around where his abode was and in and around Takoradi. Do you know whether the police are keeping a tap on them, their related activities?
Well, Roland, if my source is to be believed, they actually plucked this suspect out of a group of people and left the others on the scene twice. The first time he was arrested and the second time. So now that the police say they are searching for accomplices, you must ask yourself, well, why did they leave those individuals behind when they arrested him on both occasions? And where are they going to find these accomplices now? So I really don't know the extent to which the police are making incursions into the Nigerian community, what intelligence they are acting upon, who they hope to identify as accomplices. It is very difficult for me to answer those questions from where I sit, because it looks as if that opportunity to round up accomplices has been lost twice.
I see. But now, how are the families of these victims moving on or going on with their lives?
Well, to be honest, they are not going on with their lives. They are stuck in limbo. The family of Ruth Quayson told me about how they don't eat, they don't sleep. Ruth's mother hasn't eaten for days, in spite of all the enticement and convincing of the family members just to get her to take a bite to eat. She finds herself unable to eat, to sleep, because she doesn't know where her daughter is. Ruth is the daughter who shares a bed with their mother. So you can well imagine that sleeping is now a very different experience for her.
Wow.
She looks haggard, tired. You can tell that she's ill. I mean, not just physically, but she's obviously going through a lot of emotional health issues as well. She can't sit for 2 minutes without crying. It's the same for the father of Priscilla Franchi. He talks about how he is working hard, using all his energy to hold back tears, because he feels that it won't help anyone around him if he, the father, is seen crying. But more and more, that becomes an impossible task, because every day he wakes up and his 15-year-old daughter is not home. She might be moving farther and farther away from home as far as he is aware. And those close with the power to find him, from his perspective, he feels like they are not doing enough. In the case of Priscilla Bentum, his father is, well, miraculously optimistic. He believes that as long as there is a God alive, his daughter is also alive. He refuses to consider any other possibility. He wakes up and he prays for his daughter's return. And he continues praying for his daughter's return. No other activity occupies his time more than praying for his daughter to turn up, to come home, and for whatever ordeal she's going through to end. This is the reality of the families. And that is the reason why all of our support is needed for them. Because moving on is not an option. The only option that makes sense is for these girls to be brought back.
Well, and before we let you go, though, and talking about how families and friends are moving on, we also know that the spotlight had been on the nationality of the main or the prime suspect, Wilson. It doesn't mean that all Nigerians living in and around the area are doing bad work or perhaps are living unfruitfully or contravening our regulations. Those other nationals of Nigerian descent, how do they feel about knowing that their compatriot is a prime suspect, but also is one of the main protagonists in all this? Well, the connections seem to be misbehaving. Well, that'll be it for now as far as this is concerned. And Kojo Yankson again is in Takrady. He will. Did you hear my question, Kojo? Kojo? Well, we just lost a connection out there. We hope that we can re-establish. But again, we told you that you have to just continue with the advocacy, with the hashtag. Keep sharing it on your pages, your accounts, on Facebook, Twitter, and other related social media platforms. And it is Bring Back Our Tardy Girls. And you can find more of those postings on our page on Facebook, JoyNews on TV. We also have Joy997. You can go to myjohnline.com. You can go to our Twitter handle at JoyNews on TV. And we have Instagram handle pages as well. So please, all of it is all available. And the missing girls and their pictures and their related information are all available on the slide just on your screen. Just in case you have any information, you can call the emergency number 191, and then you can give the details to the security agencies.